Welcome to another episode of what has been trending within the last 24 hours. My name is Angelo, your anchor. Yes, first of all, I would love to make this update so brief because we have lots of things on our table, and I would always urge you to always stay glued to our channel, like it, comment in the comment section, and don't forget to share this video to people around you and people outside Nigeria, because everybody needs to hear this particular update. Do that for all our videos, please. Subscribe to and tap the notification bell. It's very, very important. Now, first of all, on the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal, the National Prayer Altar, an interdenominational and international platform of Christians dedicated to praying for Nigeria, has called for an investigation into the chairman of the Independent and National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, regarding the conduct of the 2023 general elections. Now, reports have it that the platform comprised of Christians from all 6 geopolitical zones and the diaspora, and it alleges that Yakubu's leadership contradicted INEC's own regulations and hindered in a way, if not in every way, the electoral process by failing to provide adequate facilities, logistics, and a free and fair electoral process. Now, recognizing that the country is currently witnessing a trial of the judiciary, the organization now believes that Nigerians will, in a way, cast their eyes and pronounce the verdict on the judiciary's performance. And additionally, the group expressed concerns about the deliberate manipulation of ethnic sentiments for political gain, which undermines the unity of peace in Nigeria, hereby trying to let all Nigerians know that all eyes will be cast on the judiciary no matter the judgment they bring on board as regards the final day of hearing, as regards the ongoing Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal. That is that on that particular update. Lots of groups have been calling out the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, for his misconduct during the election, but we have failed to understand really whose responsibility it is to call out the INEC chairman for his irresponsibility and his lack of conduct and his misdemeanor during the just concluded general elections. We don't know if it's the police, if it's the Nigerian army, if it's the DSS, if it's the EFCC, if it's the ICPC, or even if it's the president. We don't know who is saddled with that responsibility of calling out the INEC chairman for his misconduct during the elections. Yes, if you are just a visitor, his misconduct was calling a winner of the elections even when only 37% of the electoral results or election process results were collated. So what happens to the remaining 63% results of the elections? Who won the other ones? Okay, that was his misconduct, and it was glaring, and this information was made available to us from the public space. That is that on that particular update. Amidst the ongoing saga alleging that the military is actively involved in oil theft in the Niger Delta by Asari Dokubo sometime 3 weeks ago, the Nigerian army have allegedly swung into action immediately and have intercepted an oil vessel responsible for oil theft throughout all the oil wells and all the territorial waters in the Niger Delta region. Now, it was alleged on Arise News that there is a suspect in this oil theft vessel, and this particular suspect has a very big idea about how the vessels work in the sea and around all the territorial waters of the Niger Delta. Now, one different thing is, he noted that for unknown reasons, the military have refused to allow the suspect speak to the press. Why? Why have you disallowed, or why have you not allowed this suspect speak to the press? Is there something we don't know, the Nigerian army? Is there something we are yet to know? Well, without much ado, let me allow you watch this video where this particular suspect was caught in the same oil vessel where he was caught. The video is viral now, so you would watch it on this platform and enjoy the updates. Now, take my word for it, this video is detailed. Stay tuned.
Here, information appears to be coming in short supply because the man who is supposed to provide that information is over there, and the military does not want him to speak up or to speak now. They want to go through the protocol, certain bottlenecks that will impede information. I wouldn't know, but we believe we can still get to hear from him. That's just the situation. He's over there. He gave us a bit of information, quite strong, but it is safer for him to speak to the press. And that's just what is happening behind me. You can see what's happening. The military personnel discussing with officials of Tantita Security Services Nigeria Limited. And of course, the pressmen are actually waiting because that's the man that has the vital information that would be shared. How this vessel was intercepted and brought down to the waters of Oporosa, because actually it was intercepted here, but Oporosa is not far away from that is the community actually Oporosa, where the ex-agitator government Tompolo, popularly called Tompolo, lives, just few meters away from here. So that's the reason it is brought here. Now many are thinking, would it be burnt? Would it be destroyed? There are also concerns about the environment. Whenever such vessels are burnt, the content is spilled into the river, further polluting the environment. They are working hard, so hard to protect. But another thing is, if it is not destroyed or burnt, some way, somehow, it will show up somewhere else with a different name, and then the process continues again. That is how Nigeria's crude oil has been stolen over time. Now he's coming to me, that is the operations manager. Yes, this is the man we want to talk to. Okay, your name please?
Captain Waridi Iniswa is my name.
Captain Waridi Iniswa, please tell us, how was this vessel intercepted? And give us more information please.
Well, it's a bit of a joint operation. As you know, the NNPC has been in the forefront of battling this crude oil theft. And also, as you can see, the military is also being very, very, very supportive when it comes to battling this crude oil theft. We got intelligence on this vessel long time back. As you know, it's a notorious ship. It's been doing quite a fair bit in Nigerian waters. As you can see, it's been notorious for stealing crude to foreign countries here and there, and so much and so forth.
All right, you've heard the correspondent there. And although they refuse to show us the photograph or the video references of this suspect who was caught in this oil vessel, but mind you, an oil vessel doesn't work alone. So this suspect must have been with other team of suspects, and then he was left alone after the other people flew to safety. Okay, so that is just what I would say. Unlucky him, because the Nigerian army, if there is nothing to be hidden or if there is no personal vendetta, the Nigerian army will stuff out information from him and he will finally say it. That is that on that particular update. Finally, about the recently signed students' loan bill that was signed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Former Minister of Youth and Sport, Bolaji Abdullahi, has recounted the issues surrounding the perceived students' loan scheme that President Bola Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu recently signed into bill. The former minister gave a brief account of the loan requirements, and he termed them as imaginative other than reality. Now, the truth is, the payment of the loan is flexible, yes, in 2 years' time after graduation of any student in Nigeria, and then there are requirements whom we deem as so imaginative instead of being a reality. Before I give a brief analysis on this particular information, I would like you to have an update straight from the video references that we had to get from Arise News, so you will be able to understand what Bolaji Abdullahi, former Minister of Youth and Sport, said on this particular issue. Listen to him with keen interest. More details when I come back.
Is that education is bad collateral. If I borrow money from the bank to build a house, if I default, the government can take the house, the bank can take the house from me. But if I borrow money to acquire education, if I default, the law says I will be fined 500,000 naira or I'll go to prison if I default, you know. But if you look at the other laws, similar laws, you see that some of these things are more aspirational than actually what is possible in practice. So my fear is that unless the issue of student loan is contextualized within the bigger reform that must happen at the public university level in Nigeria, it's likely that the objective may not be achieved, because we are talking about modalities for drawdown, but without looking at what makes it necessary in the first place. And I'll give you an example. I was trying to set the background for it. I'll give you an example. In the 2003-2004 academic session, University of Nigeria Nsukka, for example, is charging 61,400 naira for new students. A private university in the same Enugu state, Renaissance University, is charging about 300,000 naira for the same academic session. So you find a situation where a student who is able to access this loan in September would rather use this loan to go to Renaissance University. Students in Enugu will take this loan to go to Renaissance University rather than go to, because 64,000 naira, yes, it may be a lot of money to students, but when you are giving me a loan that I can draw down up to 10 million naira, if I'm right, then I would rather use this money to go to a private university. So what I'm saying is that this issue of student loan has to be situated in the context of overall reform that must happen at the level of financing university education. I have no doubt in my mind that, well, barring one or two hitches, it will go on smoothly, and the administrators will continue to adapt at the level of policy implementation. The law is there, which is a very, very good thing. Whatever is left now is the issue of implementation at the policy level. And I believe the administrators will continue to adapt as they encounter challenges and as they begin to. But some of these things, you really don't know what to come up until you begin to test them against reality. So people have pointed out, 2 years is too little to say you must begin to pay. What people don't get a job within 2 years. Again, that speaks to the issue I raised earlier. We must see the issue of student loan as only an element in the overall desire to improve quality of university education, because it's only when you improve quality of university education that you can also improve the chances that these students will be able to get a good job when they leave, and therefore will be able to pay. Because if you don't improve their employability chances, you just end up with people who have acquired certificates who are not able to get a job, as it is happening now. Then you end up with this loan. If it doesn't work, then we go back to square one.
Alright, welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is your most preferred YouTube channel, the one that gives you updates on all information pertaining to the democratic system in Nigeria and the political system in Nigeria as it borders the Nigerian population. Now, that was Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, let me call him Alhaji, former Minister of Youth and Sports, trying to explain the requirements and the pros and cons that have been involved, and the je ne sais quoi, let me say, the je ne sais quoi, and the necessary wherewithal that have been brought on board for the acquisition or accessibility of this alleged student loan scheme. Now, the truth is, the requirements that are being laid down for the accessibility of this loan are so imaginative. Why will somebody whose parents have not had up to 40,000 naira in their accounts for the past 6 months, why will he have an access to somebody on level 16 and above in the Nigerian government that will sign the same loan form, or that will give an attestation for him to be able to access these loans? These two requirements are one of the requirements that have been stipulated for the accessibility of these loans. So you notice that if you are in the category of people who are not that privileged to have somebody who is in their family that is not of the level of 16, level 16 from the civil service, that is level of director and above, then how will you be able to access these loans? And then there is another requirement that says you must have a parent that have not accessed a whooping sum of 40,000 naira in their account for a level of a particular duration. So why will you keep these two juxtaposing statements, and then why will these two different people from two different social stratifications have access to the loan that was alleged to be given to students? You see, so somehow you could say prestisably and precisely that this loan is something of, let's say, a handwritten sort of or a rubber stamped loan process other than a reality. That is that we hope that the government sees to it that it stop deceiving us in a way and come to the reality that Nigerians need a stable form of governance to access welfare instead of written and mouth-watering, or let me say audio governance. Thank you so much for staying with us. Stay tuned for more updates. See you next time. Bye.